Good evening, folks, and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 1 for tonight's dose of racing action here at Silverstone Reverse, where it is raining for qualifying, which is making things interesting. We could use some rain over here in Great Britain. We are in a bit of a drought at the moment, but there's rain in the virtual world, of course, and Koru is happy about the rain in the Tier 1 chat, and we're about to go out for some qualifying very soon. Let's get everything we need up. Let's get that up, and that up, and that up there as well. So we're going the wrong way round the circuit. Yes, the wrong way round the circuit. No Scott today, I'm noticing. Kevin from Tier 2 taking his place, as Lawrence is going to be the first to venture out onto the circuit in his Haas. There he goes, intermediate tyres for Lawrence. Let's see what everybody else does. Interesting to see. So we'll keep the tyres up on the screen a little bit now. We'll follow along with Lawrence. And, well, the story so far in this season really has been the two Aston Martins have been dominating the way. Ryder leading the championship as of last round, the halfway point officially. Although some connection errors have brought the likes of Finley and Lifeboat that little bit closer, so they definitely got a chance at dethroning Ryder if the luck continues to go against him. Aston Martin in the Constructors' Championship, meanwhile, they're 51 points ahead of anybody else, which is a mighty, mighty gap at this point of the season. One hand is firmly on that trophy. It's Ryder, Finley, Lifeboat, QV, Verstappen, Chris RBL, Ghost, Koru, Hugo, Perez and Mahmoud, the top 10 in the championship so far, with Aston Martin, McLaren, Cadillac, Audi, Ferrari, Alpine, Williams, Haas, RB, Red Bull and Mercedes, your constructors for the time being. But that's going to be it for the standings. That's the story. That's where we find ourselves as we go into this session, as Lawrence is making his way through, I think it's Village, then Farm, and then we're going to go through Abbey, the final corner of this track. Wrong way round as we go in towards Club Corner. These first two corners are trickiest in the dry, not so, even more so in the rain. Into the Vale chicane goes Lawrence. Very tentative there. I'm not sure how much practice any of the drivers would have done in the wet conditions. Lawrence likes the rain, of course. Through Stowe we go. A little bit slidey as the car, but keeps it on circuit. Could maybe do a little bit better on the next time out, but round he goes nonetheless. Now we're going towards Chapel, which is the next corner. Of course, find your braking point into this corner. Hook it left. And Lawrence gets slidey a little bit. Then we go through Beckett's, then Maggots on this occasion. And then we're going down on that run towards Cops Corner now. Car pulling over to the right hand side. And then let's see how brave Lawrence is. A lift and a couple of downshifts through the Cops Corner. Sensible, you don't want to get on that grass in these conditions. Then we go through Woodcott in towards Luffield. Got this long left-hander now, normally a long right-hander. It's left on this situation of the circuit. Then we go right through Brooklands to round off the second sector. Lawrence all over the power, losing the rear end, but getting a decent time in nonetheless on that sector. He'll definitely be able to improve though. And we go in towards Aintree in the loop. Tricky corner to get right, even trickier in these wet conditions. Back through Village we go, and now Farm and Abbey one final time to set the first lap of this evening. It's going to be Lawrence in the Haas car, making his way around. That car is sliding all over the place, and that is Lawrence with his first lap completed. I think we're about to see some Alpines made their way across the line. Avenir and his teammate Cross Griffin, and then Avenir, who goes fastest out of anyone else. Apalisa then fastest next. Formula Leon, he's going to cross the line now. Is he going to go even quicker? Not quite. The Williams duo KRPP goes up into 6th place. We've just missed that. And then it's going to be Tomek. No, Perez are going to be starting a lap. Is that Finley coming next? Yes, it is. Finley crosses the line. Only P3 for Finley. Hugo, P1 for him. Runes in the other. The Williams, only P8 for Runes. The Audis now. Is that Jackie Lacco? Yes, it is. P5 for Jacko. Now we've got Koru coming along. He's invalidated his lap. No improvements there. Kvyat Verstappen's there. I think Dake's ahead of him though. Dake's invalidated his time. Kvyat Verstappen continuing to go forwards. P7. Next, Kylo Ren maybe? No, it's the other Mercedes out on the circuit. Follow along with Kylo Ren. I think Lifebout's just placed the time up onto the board. And then that was Tomek up into P9. Some fast drivers out there this evening. Chris RBL up into P7. Here comes Kylo Ren up into P2 for Kylo. Reigning Tier 1 champion, of course. Ghost next. Ghost, let's see what he can manage around this circuit. It's off 1 minute 41.0. These times are close. A wet session seems to have put the cat amongst the pigeons for everybody here. I think we're about to see Ryder Dow do a lap. Let's see what he can manage. He looks fast. Whoa! They don't fast anymore. But he still somehow manages to complete the lap despite being completely off circuit. He was that much faster that he didn't lose any time. Well, enough time to see him off the top step. So if he can not do that on his next run, then he's got every chance of going seconds faster than anybody else. But he manages 600ths for the time being after that show. Hugo now goes even faster. 1 minute. And I think I've lagged out. That's annoying. At least it happened in qualifying and not the race. I'm not sure how Ryder Dow managed to not get damaged there. That's insane. Definitely not a lobby reset. Definitely me just lagging out there. We'll get back in. Don't panic, everybody. My stupid fucking controller. Well, I've got to make sure I spectate, otherwise I'm going to end up in the race. I lost half a second behind your teammate, Avenir. I mean, that's one of the hard parts about wet qualifying. I feel like it's more annoying because I think more people are out on track at the same time, so there's more traffic, and then of course the traffic then puts you off, gives you dirty air, all that jazz. So bear with us. I'll say us, bear with me. I'll be back in the session. It was Hugo leading, remember? Yeah, currently had the fastest lap. Ryder Dow definitely has a fast lap in him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him at the top of the pile. We've got 4 rounds left after this one, so Hugo's still at the top for now. We've got one of the rounds. There we go, that's Koru. Let's get all the times up once again. So everybody's sticking to the intermediate tyres for this qualifying session. Koru's got a P6. Verstappen's just pushed him down into P and got into P5 even. So Koru was P6 just a second ago. Kylo Ren, no, that's the other Mercedes. I don't think they've improved. There's a Red Bull, but that's peeled into the pits. Kylo Ren, is he peeling into the pits as well? I don't think so. This is going to be a lap from Kylo. Round the final corner he comes, and it's decent. On 1 minute 39.9, puts him onto provisional pole this time around. There's an Alpine coming. The 2 Audis, Ghost even. There he is, up into P3. A 1 minute 40.3 for him. Lawrence, yes it is. No improvement for Lawrence on this occasion. What about everybody else? Is that Kevin? Yes it is. Kevin's 3 seconds off the pace on this lap. No, I don't think it's going to be an improvement from him. Formula Leon is the driver just behind him. Formula Leon up into P9. His teammate Apelice is on an outlap. And we've got a Ferrari. Is that Chris RBL? No, it's Hugo, in fact, going even quicker. And putting himself back into provisional pole. 39.4, mighty lap. Ryder Dow is back out on circuit. He'll hope not to go into the barriers again. Still, we're not sure what that Aston Martin's made of. As Jack Alaka goes ahead of Ghost now. 1 minute 40.0. These times closing in. Nobody as close to Hugo right now. Hugo's about 5 tenths ahead of everyone else. Whereas Jack Alaka and Kylo are separated by hundredths of a second at most. Let's see, who is that? It's not Kylo, is it? No, it's not Kylo, but there is an Aston Martin on the way. That's going to be Lifebout, so we'll keep an eye on him. We're following Kylo Ren, who's not on a lap right now. Ghost not on a lap right now either. Ryder Dow's just behind him. Then I think we've got Lawrence, who is on a lap, so we'll see what Lawrence is doing. About halfway into this session now, I'd have thought. Lawrence 6 tenths up, places him in P5. Not a bad lap from Lawrence. 1 minute 40.3, but you've got to think there's still a lot more time to be found out there. And then we've got Kevin, he's 9 tenths up this time. This could see him up into the lower half of the... Well, a little bit higher into the lower half of the grid. Let's see, only P19 for Kevin. That was, I think, Tomek going quicker, and that was Hugo going even faster. 1 minute 39.0 from Hugo. It's hard to keep up. Finley's gone faster now as well. All the laps are just coming in too quickly for me to keep track of. It's Jacko, yeah. I think we should ride him with Lifebout. I think he might have just been impeded. I don't think he's got that much of a drastic wing damage to that Aston Martin, but it seems he might have been impeded just there on that previous lap. I'm not sure he came up in some traffic, and in fact is pulling out of the way for his teammate who's making his way down. He's a second up on his previous, so he's currently sat on about 1 minute 39.4. Let's see what he can manage. He's got a few more corners to navigate. You'd think he would get pole position here quite easily, even in these tricky conditions, but we'll see. He's making his way through the final couple of corners now. Round Abbey at a 38.9, puts him just marginally ahead of Hugo for the time being. It's very, very close between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari, but it's back on the top for Ryder. As we've got constant yellow flags at the minute, so I can't actually tell you how long's left in the session at the time being. Kevin, he's 3 tenths up this time. Looking to get ahead of Runes, perhaps. Let's see what he can manage on this occasion. It's going to be a 41.7. Gets ahead of Runes, but only P19 for the Tier 2 Championship leader. Corey's coming into the pits. That means Finley's next on a lap. Is he? No, he's coming into the pits himself. Lawrence is in the pits. Dakar is there. So Jacko, no, that's probably a Ferrari, but it's coming into the pits. So I think Dakar's going to be next. I don't know if he's on a lap or not. No, into the pits for Dakar as well. We've got 4 minutes and 20 seconds or so left in this qualifying session. Kylo Ren looks like he's out on a lap. His teammate is about to come across the line. Stays bottom of the pile. Ferrari coming in. Kylo Ren, what can he manage through these final few corners? Again, a driver of Kylo Ren's talent. You'd expect him on the sharp end. He's currently P3. Can he close that gap even further? No, he can't, as he's going into the pits. Tomek. Does Tomek have a surprise pole position in him? Not with a lap like that, he doesn't. And that's that lap over. Perez second up on their time. Looking to get themselves ahead of Kevin, I think, in P19. This would place him. Maybe a little bit higher if he can find a bit more time in his last few corners. Here he comes in the Red Bull. P18 ahead of Chris RBL by a 100th of a second. Kevin out again, but he's 3 seconds down. Runes on an out lap. See who else is out there. QVR Verstappen is 4 tenths up on his previous. Hoping to get into the 1 minute 39s. It's incredibly close if you look at those lap times. Only a few tenths in it for some drivers and a few hundredths of a second in it for others. Even a few thousandths there between Lawrence and Ghost. 5 thousandths of a second between them. QVR Verstappen up into P7. Splits Lawrence and Jacko. And that might have been Appalisa who's just crossed the line. Maybe no, it wasn't. It was his teammate Formula Leon. Let's see, there's a Mercedes on the way. Is that Raymond? I think it is Raymond who's the second up. On their time, only P21 for their efforts. Lawrence might be on an outlap as well. Tomek is coming through the final couple of corners. Is he on a lap? Definitely not. Not with that ERS usage, he isn't. What about behind him? Is that Griffin behind him? No, it's the other Alpine. That's Avenir, who's not on a lap. Ghost there as well. Tomek, no. So once again, it's difficult to see who's actually on a lap. Perez is improving. We've got everyone else out on the track. Ryderdale's just left the pits now. Lifeback's on an outlap. So we'll keep an eye on our leaders because they're all on a lap. They're all on their outlaps. As Perez goes up into P18. So the Williams cars, it's Runes. 1.2 seconds up. This is better from the Australian. Let's see what he can manage in the Williams. Got a couple corners to navigate. One more down the Hamilton straight. PAE 13 for Runes. Also, that's Dakes starting a lap. That's it. Is Dakes starting a lap? That might be Verstappen, his teammate behind him. No, it isn't. It's Lawrence. No, it's going to be Kevin. Okay, that's Formula Leon who's shot up the order into 1 minute 39.3s. Maybe that's track evolution. Paying his due diligence. Kylo Ren on the lap now. We're going to be trying to keep an eye on the leaders where we can. Raymond is going to be crossing the line next. Hugo is just finishing his outlap. Behind him is going to be Verstappen, is it? No, Lawrence. It is Lawrence, who's 3 seconds down. But he's going around one more time. Avenir's down on his previous. So Jacko knows it. Ghost even. It could be. It is Ghost. Making his way along. The two Aston Martins yet to finish their outlap. Ghost only P5. That's going to be his session done. Is that Hugo? No, Hugo started a lap though. We'll keep an eye on Kylo. I think he's probably the most progressed of the leaders. I'll try and keep an eye on the timing tower and see who does improve and who doesn't. We've got 3 seconds left. I think that would be the last car crossing the line now. So the 2 Red Bulls will be the final cars to complete a lap. I'm watching Kylo Ren. He's 5 tenths he's got to find. Where is he at the Sector 2 line? He's only 700ths of a second up. All the time's got to come in his last few corners. He's got a bit of traffic ahead. I think that's Jackalacco in the Audi ahead. He's invalidated and down anyway. Let's see. I think Lawrence might have been in amongst that group there. I think Lawrence has finished his session. Maybe he might be even further back. No improvements from the RBs. Here comes Kylo Ren. Round the final corner now. Where can he place that Mercedes? It's only P3. We ride back aboard with Hugo now. Hugo's next of the leaders. I'm not sure how much he's up, but he should be pushing. He's the closest to Ryderdale. He could get pole position here in these wet conditions. We'll have to keep an eye on Lifebout as well, who's way down the order. He's not had a great time in this qualified session. Here comes Hugo around the final corner. Can't quite do it. Lifebout is going to be the first Aston Martin. He's 1.5 seconds up. This is putting him into the 39s, I think. I don't know if it's going to be enough for the Dutchman. I think Ryderdale might be done with his time, to be honest. With the track who's near him. Lifebout only P3. Ryderdale's 2 tenths of a second up. And goes even faster. 1 minute 38.6. That was somebody spinning in the background. That must have been Finley. It was Finley spinning. Oh, he couldn't finish the lap. And he spins. He's only down in P8. And that's it. A dramatic end to the qualifying for Finley. As Ryderdale once again is the man on top. Rain doesn't matter. Reverse track doesn't matter. Ryder is the fastest man in qualifying yet again, and by some distance. Well, there we go then. It's Ryder once again, the man on the top step. Hugo joins him on the front row. Gave it a good effort, but couldn't quite dethrone Ryder from pole position. Lifebout down in the doldrums most of the session. Managed to get himself up to P3. Kylo Ren there in P4 as well. You've got Formula Leon rounding off the top 5. Ghost, Jacko Finley, Kvyat Verstappen and Police at the top 10. Daker, Chris RBL, Avenir, Lawrence, KRPP, Griffin, Tomek, Runes, Koru, Kevin, Carez, and Raymond. All the drivers on the grid. P1 to 22 for the start of this race. It looks like Ryder's game has crashed. And that's going to affect him off the start, as he wouldn't be in his car at the start of the race. Just keep an eye on the Tier 1 chat. It's not raining here. Impeded. Getting into Stewart's Avenue. Let's see, we're going to be waiting a few seconds. We won't lobby reset for one person leaving. It would have to be a mass exodus of drivers, I think, in order to trigger a lobby reset. So, just wait and see. For this one, Ryder now joining. He won't be able to make edits to his strategy or his setup as well. That's one downside of lagging out right after qualifying. We're waiting then for those 5 red lights. It's a different beast, this circuit, this way round. You'd think it wouldn't be too different, but in fact it works differently. You've got to set the car up slightly different as well. It's a lot of fun actually driving it backwards. I really enjoy the backwards circuit around here. Of course, there's a fair few layouts of Silverstone. I want to say there is a race that races backwards, maybe, or races that way around. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I know obviously that in races past, the track start-finish line used to be up at the other end of the track, so the final corner would be Cops, and your first corner would be Maggots and Beckett's. I believe they do that for GT3. That's also another interesting layout, actually, as well. Changes some of the nature of... well, it changes a lot of the racing as you sort of go through Brooklands, Luffield, and Woodcote. Actually, no, it wouldn't be Cops. Cops would be turn 1, sorry. Woodcote would be your final corner. But yeah, it changes a little bit of the racing through there, because if you can get a good run out of Luffield, you can really get in there. You did miss the rainy qualifying. Ryder somehow has got the most indestructible car on the grid. Nearly binned it, well, did bin it into the wall, didn't get terminal damage, still set the fastest lap early on, and then went to dominate qualifying yet again. I should say Cora and Rideout both currently not in the session with 4, 5 red lights as we go. They're going to take their cars over in a second, but we're racing and it's a decent start from Hugo there as well. Remember, Hugo's now in pole position because of the lag out for Rideout, but through they go and lagging a little bit is Rideout. The timing tower is glitching a lot as well. Everybody's ghosted for some reason. Kylo Ren's up there as well. Lifebound's up there. Rideout has dropped all the way down. I think maybe it's taking control of the car now. And we're back and up racing. It's Hugo taking the lead ahead of Lifebound and Kylo Ren. Rideout is back in the car, it looks like. And he's going to be looking to make up those places as quickly as he possibly can. But a clean start from everybody. Let's get position changes up. Lap data, a full track map, of course. Rideout a big loser, but he lagged out. Perez up 5 places. Finley going ahead of Rideout and ahead of Jackalacco to get into P5. Really going for it. Rideout going to go for the same now as well. He's down the inside of the Scotsman. Down the inside of the Audi, looking to go for it into left field as they go through. Rideout makes his way through. The 2 Audis are either side of him now. And Rideout looking to get past Finley now as well. Looks to the outside of Brooklands. Can't find a way through there. Now he's going to have to run all the way down here. It's the 2 Audis though. They're side by side just behind them as we go in towards Aintree and the loop. And it is Ghost ahead of Jacko. Ghost wanting to get involved. Finley, meanwhile, getting involved. The Formula Leon trying to find a way past. Using the up and under, maybe, as he goes through Village into Farm. Can't find a way past Formula Leon. Leon probably uses the battery to defend from the McLaren. But the McLaren charges past him at the final corner and gets the place done. Rideout follows him through as well, not wanting to sit behind slower cars. And a big lock of the brakes from Rideout. Nearly loses the car. Formula Leon's going to be all over the back of this. Ghost will want to get involved as well if he can. So much going on in this opening lap as I cannot breathe. But yes, Finley the big winner probably. Ghost up in place now as well into P6. Gets past Formula Leon as we go through Beckett's and Maggots. I've got to get used to saying this the wrong way round. I feel like this is only the first time maybe actually I've commentated on this track in this layout. In the pits are Kevin and Griffin. Questionable if they started on hards, but they might have. Tomek started on hards. Everybody else started on mediums. No disparities there as Jackalacco as getting past Formula Leon as well. Still side by side they go. Jacko got the outside line through Brooklands, but they're still side by side. QVR Verstappen will want to slice of the action as well. He's boxed in a little bit there, but Formula Leon, it has lost the place to Jack. Is he going to lose it to QVR Verstappen as well? They're side by side as they go along. No change in the leaders for the time being. QVR Verstappen up ahead of Formula Leon, who gets the up and under perhaps. No, looks for it though, but can't find it. The 2 Audis making good progress. Hugo got a 1.5 second gap to Lifebound out there at the moment. They'll look to try and control this race from here. Kylo Ren, P3. He's got Lifebound in his sights. He'll be hunting him down. Finley and Rideout are back there as well. Chris and Appalisa are battling as we go down. I think it's the Wellington straight, this one. As a car just disappeared off our view. I'm not sure what's going on. Appalisa, that is, maybe. I think he just appeared back here. That's very weird. That might be the hangar straight, actually, but Chris makes his way past Formula Leon as we're heading on down. It's all chop and change. Finley's got his way past Kylo Ren. It looks like in towards Luffield. Kylo all over the back of this McLaren. We'll try and focus on the front for the time being. But Jacko, meanwhile, is fighting with Chris RBL in the Ferrari. Chris RBL fending off the Scotsman for now. No way through for the Audi. QV on the staff. And it's Ghost! Ghost off the circuit. He's got that corner all wrong. And he's in the gravel. What? Oh dear. He's lagged out, maybe. Or have I lagged out again? No, I don't think I have. Ghost is lagged out. Everybody's lagging out. Mass lag outs for everybody. That's very strange. I think it's okay. So Ghost is lagged out, I think. And that's what's caused the confusion. But Ghost is way down now. He's lagged out of the session. Yeah, of course. On it. I'm on it, as it looks like that's Finley and Riderdown going to do battle. There's an invite, Ghost. Hope you can use that one as Riderdown gets past Kylo Ren, sorry, in the Mercedes. And up into P5 he goes. Hopefully Ghost can use that invite to get back in. Yeah, he's back in. He's going to be absolutely gutted that he's lagged out there. Especially after last week, where he had to disappear for circumstances beyond his control. And Lifebout closing down the gap, though. He's hunting down Hugo. He's keeping Finley at bay at the moment, but Finley's going to be all over this. Riderdown's all over this as well. Kylo Ren, I don't think he'll be out for the count. But this is a clear lead group. It's a 5-car battle, almost, for the lead. 4 cars for second place and the podium. Making the way through. Finley getting close to the back of Lifebout. Lifebout used a lot of battery. Chris, Riderdown and Kylo used a lot of battery as well. Finley looking around the outside of Luffield. Here we go, the McLaren versus the Aston Martin. A little bit of contact as they go in. Long way round goes Finley. Can he keep it on the inside for the next corner? He can. Can he compromise Lifebout enough? He can't quite. Lifebout gets a great exit. Fends off Finley. And Finley stays behind for the time being. Looks maybe in towards Aintree and in towards the loop now. No way through there. You've got to be patient. He's Riderdown at a good distance. Finley has definitely got the advantage here. Riderdown and Kylo, in fact, have also got a bit of an advantage on battery as well. But Lifebout and Hugo, they're burning that battery. Lifebout is now within a second of Hugo again. The question is, was he within a second of the detection point? We'll find out in just a moment's time. But Finley's all over the back of this Aston Martin, chasing him down. You'd wager that he's going to get it here. No boost, I don't know, I think they might have been side by side at that point. No, they weren't, they can't have been. It's hard to tell, you can't see on their steering wheels if they've got boost mode or not. That's garbage. Here comes Finley again. Down the inside this time before Cobb's corner, gets it done. And is ahead of Lifebout. Will he come back at him? Let's see if he can. Looks to the outside, maybe through Woodcock they go. No way through for Lifebout. And that's Finley, importantly, with a car in between himself and ET8 Riderdown. Kylo Ren is slowly slipping away from the leaders. He's got to pick up the pace if he wants to stay with them. Lifebout snaking his way through this next complex of corners. Meanwhile, Chris and Verstappen getting familiar with each other on the racetrack. That's Hugo now in the spot of bother. I'm not sure what's happened. Maybe a mistake from the man in the Ferrari, but Finley is all over the back of him now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a 5-car fight for the lead of this race. And we will be keeping our eyes peeled on that one. That's the Alpine of Avenir off the track. Lawrence involved in that one as well. Dirty from Lawrence. As Hugo keeping Finley at arm's length for the time being. No changes as we head through Chapel, Beckett's and Maggots. Very goes to the back of Finley. His teammate's not that far away as well. That's wide through Copps. That's going to compromise him. Ride it out. Might look for the move here on his teammate. There'll be no love lost between them. Yellow flags again. That's a Williams off at Beckett. Or I think that might be Matt. No, yeah, it is Beckett's maybe. As Lawrence. What's happened to Lawrence? I don't know. He's not got damage. He's definitely got a problem in terms of that time penalty he's got with the collision with Avenir. And wow, look at this. They're all close together. There's so much contact between them all. They all concertina into each other. Hugo stays in the lead. And there'll hopefully be no damage in amongst them, but lifebouts all over the back of Finley. Wants to find a way through. Could both Aston Martins go for it in towards turn one? It would be very, very risky as they do, but no, they think better of it into these first two corners. KRPP 10 seconds for track limits in the Williams. Oh, I don't know what he's doing there. He might be cutting across the circuit or something. Not sure what this chap's up to. But he's not having a good time. Back up the circuit goes. Lawrence and Tomek racing each other back there, but we've got a 5-car battle for the lead. We can't focus anywhere else, because this is where we've got to keep our eyes. This is all the main protagonists plus Kylo in amongst it. Lifebout looking for the move on Finley. Couldn't find it as they made their way through Cobb's corner. Can he find it into Luffield? Through Woodcock we go now. Luffield round the outside goes Lifebout. Going to try the same thing Finley did. Can't find the way through. Can't get alongside enough. And all this battling is going to keep Kylo in the conversation. Although he's just hovering around that 1 second mark. Has rided out right up the gearbox of his teammate. Desperate to get past. Doesn't go for it on this occasion. And stays behind. Easier said than done here at Silverstone Reverse. Formula Leon has left the session. Lag out potentially for Formula Leon. They were circulating in P10. Again, Verstappen, Chris. Back there. Dake and Jacko. The battle of the Scotsman. The lifebout. Still can't find a way. Keeps his teammate behind. Can't find a way past anyone else. Kylo has got his work cut out with these guys ahead of him. He'll be thinking, blimey, these guys are fast. He should have come back sooner. As Lifebout once again closing in on the back of SCI Finley. Still no way through for the Dutchman. The two Scotsmen, meanwhile, they're making their way through Cobb's corner. Audi versus Cadillac, the two new teams on the grid. Ride it out, maybe a mistake from him. He was about a second down just a minute ago. But his top three is locked in. The pit stops could shake things up. It's a long, long pit lane here. And that's Hugo very wide through the loop. That's going to make him vulnerable through Farm. And now Finley's going to close up as we go through... no, this is Farm. And then Abbey as we go through Finley a little bit wide as they went through Abbey as well. And that's going to compromise him a bit. Chris and Verstappen changing places because Verstappen's pulled the trigger and pit. Hugo on the defensive now. Finley is closing in and looking for the outside of Stowe. It's very ambitious from Finley. It's going to pin him to the outside. It's going to slow them both down a bit as they go down the main straight here. And Finley looking for a way through. Looks for Chapel. Maybe can't find a way through on the Ferrari still as we go through Sector 2 now. And it's through Beckett's and Maggots again. And no way through still, but maybe another mistake from Hugo allows Finley to find a way through this time. Round the outside before Cobb's corner and into the lead of the race. And Hugo's going to do everything he can to fight back on this one. Chris is retired, he's crashed. And that's going to bring out the safety car, is it? It's a VSC. VSC. Quietly, Ghost has worked his way back up to P13. might be due to a few pit stops rather than outright pace. We'll see if he comes in. Oh no, I don't think he will. Yeah, terrible time for Hugo to get overtaken. But at least he can charge that battery back up. But all of them will be able to do that now. He's going to pit. He's going to box. But we go green as he does. And he gets a 10 seconds. How to ruin your race in one moment. You can't blame the VSC for that one. I mean, you can maybe blame the timing of the VSC's end. But you cannot blame anyone else for that 10-second time penalty. That's Hugo out of this race at the front now. We're down to 4 protagonists at the front. And Finley has somehow opened up a 1.9 second gap. Must have got... There's some sort of weird glitch with the deltas at the minute. Because some people are getting really low delta. And have got like plus 4 seconds. And then some people's delta's really high. And have like... plus 4/10 or something. Maybe it's a bit of that. But Lifebat's closed in by 3/10 already, but he's going to be at the mercy of his teammate, who will do everything he can to get rid of him. At this point, Kylo Ren has gone off. This VSC has actually just killed this race at the front. It was exciting. They were all close together, and it's just killed it dead. At least for now. It'll liven up again, I'm sure. You know, Ghost has come in. He's gone onto another set of medium tyres. So 2 stop for Ghost. Ride it out. It's got past Lifebat, who has pitted. Kylo Ren followed him in as well. So undercut for those two. Finley's in the strongest position. He's got 1.9 seconds to Ride It Out, who seems to be struggling to keep up with Finley. It's fluctuated between 0.9 and 0.6. Even 2 seconds at this point, and that's not going to help Ride It Out at all. A little tank snapping through Stowe Corner. Lawrence into the pits. Could Hugo get back into the race, I suppose, with the undercut? Potentially. He would have gained a little bit of time, not a lot, with that safety car. But the 10-second time penalty is really going to hamper him, and that's not removable, that one. That's driver error. There's no chance Hugo would get that one removed. Unless it was forced. Or somebody hitting him, potentially. That's the only way I can see that happening. But to my knowledge, nobody hit him as he came into the pits. Is that Finley? No, that was not Finley. Who was that? KRPP, what was he doing? He's just weaving over the track. Yeah, he's just weaving at the back. What are you doing, man? That's Finley. Meanwhile, while we were investigating, comes in, Ride It Out comes in as well. It's going to promote Tomek up to the race lead as he comes through. Here's Hugo. It could be the lead of the race, but the 10 seconds is going to nullify that completely. Your net leader's Lifebout now at this stage, as Finley and ET8 Chris are coming out. Oh, let's see, it could be tight as they come through. For some reason Finley's in 20th. That's weird. Why is he in 20th? What? This lobby's bugged. Because he's not in P20. There we go. Yeah, he's in P3, but Hugo is ahead of them by 1.2 seconds. Not that it matters. So at this rate, Hugo's going to be about here. Maybe even behind Jack. No, probably not behind Jack actually, but definitely behind Verstappen. About 10 seconds. But it's actually order resumed then with Hugo, Finley, Lifebout, Kylo Ren, who's ahead of ET8 Chris at ET8 Rider. Sorry, I'm so used to saying ET8 Chris. But ahead of Rider. We might feel a bit frustrated with that one. Yeah, I'd say a long way to go. 13 laps to 26. Not all that long of a way to go right now. But Hugo sets the fastest lap anyways. Those two Scotsmen still at it after the pit stops. Dakar ahead of Jackalacco. Kylo Ren in the meantime looking for a move on Lifebout. He's sandwiched between those two Aston Martins, who Lifebout is 1.8 seconds behind Finley. Finley very much in the driver's seat here. For this race win. Doesn't have to worry about Hugo. He's got 10 seconds. That's not removable. This is the rest of the podium fight. Lifebout, Kylo Ren and Ryderdale. Let's see. Corey ahead of Appalisa. Jackalacco getting close to the back of his countryman. Oh, very close to the back as they go through Cobb's corner. No way through for him there. Can he find a move in Luffield? Appalisa's getting through on Koru behind. Ghost gets past on Kevin as well. Kevin's looking to go back at him though as they go in towards Cobb's corner, and Kevin gets right back ahead of Ghost. Ghost's going to look to get right back ahead of him again. Up towards the front. Finley's closing in on Hugo. Kylo Ren has been overtaken by ET8 Chris while we've been watching elsewhere, and is now behind both the Astons and back into what will essentially be 4th place. Kylo not out of this yet though. Not by a long shot. In Formula Leon doing battle. Perez, Formula Leon shipping places. What's happening there? Maybe he lagged out of the session. I think he did actually. That will explain it. Excuse me. KRPP, another 10-second time penalty. Retired from the race in the pit lane. At least. Well, I really thought he was going to retire on track and it was a safety car. So I'm glad he's gone into the pits. 2.1 seconds the gap to Finley in this race. All but over from this point. In terms of the battle for the lead. Unless Finley finds himself with a time penalty. Koru ahead of Appalisa for now. Appalisa will try and come back at the McLaren driver. Still the two Scotsmen are doing battle. Tomek's finally in the pits. Hugo's going to be kicking himself, surely. He was in control of this race. He would have continued to be in control of this race. He got the pit stop right in terms of the timing, but he certainly didn't get the pit stop right in terms of his entrance to the pit lane, and it's going to cost him this race. And Finley's all over the back of him now. He's 0.5 of a second. He's going to close up. And I know he doesn't have to, but he'll definitely want to get ahead of Finley. It's probably in Hugo's best interest to not fight this too much. And he won't get the chance to because he's left the session. He's lagged out there as well. Another lag out before this session. And that's the final nail in the coffin, I think, for Hugo, who's going to plummet down and lose any sort of advantage he would have had otherwise. And look at this. Lifebout making the most of Hugo not being in the session anymore, and he's going to get himself the boost mode, or the overtake, or whatever you want to call it. believe it's boost mode, to help fend off his teammate, but he's going to be fending him off. Not at all. In fact, as Rideout down the inside of Lifebout and back ahead. Lifebout didn't really fight that all that much. Whether that was by choice or just he got caught by surprise, we'll never know. But 1.7 seconds now. The gap 1.8 as they go down towards Chapel. It's Rideout got it all to do in the latter stages of this race. Avenue gets ahead of Ghost, who's coming to the pits once again. Ghost. Yeah, a white wall hard tyres. Hugo back in the session, and he'll be gutted, absolutely gutted with how this race has panned out. And will Lifebout be able to stay ahead of well, will Lifebout be able to get back ahead of ETA? Chris, is the question. We'll ride it out. It's Rideout, not ETA Chris. I need to stop saying that. Chris is down there somewhere. It's Chris RBL now. He's not even in the session actually. He crashed. Finley. Fastest lap of the race so far. 28.9 from him. The Battle of the Scots still raging on. Jacko and Daka. Jacko closing in on the Cadillac. Julian Verstappen ahead of Hugo, who's had a spin out of the Vale chicane. And, oh, it's just absolutely... When it rains, it pours, eh? When it rains, it pours. His Lifebout still within 6/10. Yeah, I think that virtual safety car has completely neutered this race. We were in for a good one, and now it's just an okay one. Lifebout can't quite get close enough into this complex. Can he find a way through down here, I wonder? How's the big one? Someone remind me. I always get them mixed up. I've got every other corner name right, despite it being the wrong way around. So Rooms are having it. We're going racing. Rooms ahead through Luffield. Anywhere else on the circuit? Not really. Scottish battle continues still. Bad line through there for Jacko. Nice and close. It's the closest battle on track now. After all that at the beginning. So Hugo, as it stands, going to be behind Tomek. Tomek chasing down these two, who have been running in this order for the majority of this race. Kylo Ren in what we call no man's land now, 2.5 seconds behind the leaders, well ahead of everyone else. It's now going to be the Scottish battle plus Tomek. Tomek takes the fastest lap of the race, 28.896 on the medium tyres. Double down here. We're watching the fight for P7. Tomek's in amongst it now. Jacko's got to think about getting a move on. He's got it from behind and up in front now. Kevin into the pits again. He's having a horrible time in that Haas car. Shakalaka still no way through on Daka. Tomek, he'll draw ever closer, and in fact draws so close that he's passed the first of the two Scotsmen. Can he get them both in this section of circuit? Tomek's going to go all the way around the outside of the Cadillac, and he's going to pin him to the inside of the Exeter Luffield and get the place done. Gets the move done. Does that trigger any further battles between the two Scotsmen as we head down towards Aintree and the loop here? Not quite through Aintree. We go into the loop. Heavy braking zone. Jacko brakes significantly later. Look how brave he is on the brakes through the loop there compared to Dakar. Nothing comes of it. And battle resumed between the two Scotsmen as Tomek will be vying maybe for a shot at QVR Verstappen. If he can close that gap, it's about 10 seconds though, so it's going to be tricky, but he's got much fresher tyres and the only driver on the medium compound. Lifeboat, meanwhile, has continued the trend of following his teammate. Hasn't really launched any meaningful attacks by the looks of things. I mean, Finley is going to gain points on Ryderdown. Ryderdown's going to lose points on Finley. So it all adds up in the end. 2.7 seconds the gap. Finley is just in a world of his own. And is doing exactly what he needs to do at this stage in the season. Start piling on that pressure. Meanwhile, Tomek hasn't quite run away from these two Scotsmen. Dakar is chasing him up now. Perhaps they've set their differences aside and are now fighting the Polishman. To try and get back ahead of him. Or even better, Dakar has decided to hitch a ride with Tomek to keep Jakalako at bay. Either way, Scotsman of the day is looking like it's going to go to Dakar. Going to make that a thing. Oh dear. It was Jacko last time. And he got driver of the day as well. 4th place in Hungary. Dakar is going to be the better of the two right now. Goes right down in the doldrums. Nowhere in this race thanks to a lag. Can maybe try and salvage something if he's lucky, but it's not looking good on lap 22 or 26. This race has flown by. Absolutely flown by. Especially considering not much has happened. Except this, Lifebout got ahead of Ryderdown. I'm not sure when that happened, but it looks like Lifebout's not happy to sit behind Ryderdown anymore. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. Let me try and see if I can see when that happened. It was in towards Cops Corner, literally last lap. So we're going to go back to the two Aston Martins because they are fighting now. And I mean, Lifebout is trying to beat his teammate to the Tier 1 Championship, so he's got to be trying to finish ahead of him. But Finley, he'll be even happier with that because he'll be given a chance to even further stretch the lead. Or at least stretch the points gain that he's going to get and close that lead down, I should say, with the points differences. It's 15 for P3 in APP's lovely point system. Let's have a look. I'm fairly certain it's 15. No, it's 14 even, so it'll be a 6-point swing in Finley's direction. 4 points if Ryderdown was to finish P2. We continue on. Scottish Civil War continues on. Tomek's driving away from them, or at least trying to now. That's Griffin off at Stowe Corner. Spin, but he's gone back onto the road. So nothing too bad for Griffin. Promotes Ghost up another place. Let's take a look at the penalty situation. It's 10 seconds for Appalisa, so Ghost will be finishing. He could scavenge a point out of this race. If he can continue to close up on Raymond and Appalisa, could be a point scavenged. I think he'll manage it after all that. Wait and see. Ride it out on the back foot now, the Aston Martins. Can he find a way past his teammate? Into left field now. We've seen a lot of moves here this evening. Oh, and he's going to go for it. Oh, and he dove down the inside. Lifeboat gave him just enough space for him to try and pull that off. He's going to continue to try and go around the outside. Slows himself down in the process and has to back out of that. But is he going to close in again down in towards Aintree in the loop? Not quite. Does he try it down the inside on the brakes? No. Sensible from Ryderdow. But not this time. He got him this time. Down the inside he goes. The two teammates bang wheels. And now they're side by side through Farm. And then through Abbey. And it looks like again Ryderdown's going to go to the inside this time once more. Has the speed. Gets past his teammate. Back up to P2. And these two fighting furiously between themselves for the last two places on the podium. We'll hope it won't end in tears as Lifeboat down the inside of Stowe Corner now. They're swapping places corner by corner for the time being. And neither of them are going to yield to the other. It's going to be a good old-fashioned ding-dong battle between the two Aston Martin teammates for who is the better on the day. Lifeboat back ahead of ETA Ryderdown. Nearly sick, Chris. Meanwhile, that was Hugo getting ahead of Tomek. Tomek is... No, it wasn't. No, it was Hugo getting ahead of RB. Having in mind. As Ryderdown's got back past the head of Lifeboat. Meanwhile, we took our eyes off of it for just a minute. And once again, they swap places through Luffield and Brooklands. It's going to be this lap. That's the teller, though. We're on the penultimate lap. And Lifeboat looking all the way around the outside of the loop. And now to the inside of Village. And now through Farm they go. Ryderdown keeps him there. This is fantastic racing between the two teammates. Not much contact. It's hard, but it's fair. We're on the final lap now of this reverse Silverstone Grand Prix. Finley is well and truly on his way to winning this race. But it's Ryderdown Lifeboat squabbling over the final couple of places on the podium. Lifeboat down the inside of Stowe again as we go through. We've seen him do that last lap. He's done it again this lap. And now Ryderdown going to be all over the back of his teammate. Probably won't want to go for it here. It looks to shape a move, but that's probably just trying to get in Lifeboat's head. Trying to scare him. It's going to be down here now where the battle will come to a head. Through Cobb's Corner they go. Ryderdown. Oh, he's so fast through there. Almost into the back of Lifeboat. He doesn't go for it this time. It looks for the inside and to the outside now of Luffield. Round they go side by side. He's going to be as brave as he dares. Carry the speed. Lifeboat's going to try and defend it. He defends it as they go through into Brooklands now and keeps his teammate at bay. It's going to be these final couple of corners where we've seen these two fantastic drivers go chopping and changing. We've got to keep our eyes on this. Finley's going to come across the line any second now. Ryderdown's looking for the outside. Lifeboat's showing him every part of that rear wing he can. Ryderdown's trying to find a way through. Finley wins the race, but we're watching the two Aston Martins. It looks like it's going to be Lifeboat ahead of Ryderdown, but Ryderdown's going to try and close it down towards the line, but can't. It's Lifeboat. Oh, it's so close between the pair of them, and it's going to be Ryderdown P3. a bit of a grandstand finish to a race that looked like it was going to get boring toward the end. And we go to the most important award gifted between the two Scotsmen, as it's Scotsman of the day goes to Jackalacco in P8 ahead of Dake. They battled all race long. Dake had the upper hand, but couldn't quite do it. Jacko retains Best Scotsman of the Day award. Coro going to come home P10. Then we got the rest of the grid. I'll be interested to see, is Ghost going to get that point? It looks like he will. Raymond is way down the order. That's not Lawrence, is it? It's not. Don't know who that is. That's Kevin who's crashed in Stowe Corner. And that's Ghost getting 2 points, in fact. As Rooms has also crashed by the looks of things on the final lap. Rooms, what's happened there? 2 points for Ghost Troubles. And an important race win for Finley as he gains 6 points on his rival in this championship. Standings. Yeah, it was definitely Finley with the advantage. Even Lifebout's going to close in as well by a couple of points. Or 2. So, game on for the drivers. Game on indeed. Lots of games crashing and lag happening this round. A lot of drivers agreed. But there we are. Tomek got driver of the day from the game. I think I've got to give driver of the day probably to Finley today, I think. Yeah, Finley driver of the day. As he is the winner of this race. Started P8, finished P1. Lifebout and Riderdown joined him on the podium. Then had Kylo Ren and QV Verstappen in the top 5. Tomek, Hugo, Jacko, Dakar and Koru the top 10. Avenir, Perez, Lawrence, Ghost, Griffin your point scorers with Apalisa and Raymond. Runes, and then Formula Leon and Kevin being classified with KLPP and Chris RBL not finishing the race. Ghost saying rank number 1 is going to be close. Kevin got lap 1 damage. And Kylo Ren, as I said, a little bit humbled by the pace of the drivers at the front on that occasion. But wow, grandstand finish between the two Aston Martins was exciting to have right at the end there though. And it continues then. 4 rounds left to go. We're going to Singapore next, I believe. I'll just double check that one. I'm fairly certain it's Singapore. Calendar's in this tab. Yes, it is. Love that track. Singapore, Brazil, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain. But held at the Bahrain circuit, not the Malaysia circuit. Although I would love Malaysia to make a comeback in the game. That would be awesome. But yes, that's going to be it then, folks. 4 more rounds left to go. 6 points has been gained by Finley. Can he continue to close that gap up and catch Riderdown and win yet another Tier 1 championship? Or can Riderdown go back to his race dominating ways and win at this, well, and win a Tier 1 championship on debut season as well? That would be exciting to see. But that's going to be it for me. I'm going to go grab a cup of tea, rest my voice, and thank you all very much for watching, I suppose. Make sure you check out all the other racing action as well. Tier 3, Tier 2 and Formula 2 Cup as well. All of them are commed by some fantastic commentators. And they very much deserve your support in these streams as well. Oh, go saying no more reverse tracks next season. But that's going to be it, folks. Thank you all so very much for watching. I have been Sumo, and I will see you again next Friday for some more APPF1 Tier 1. Good night.